Guys, I am definitely pregnant, like fully pregnant.
Adult content creator Bonnie Blue is making headlines with her latest pregnancy reveal, and she is uniquely involving her fans in a way that is raising a lot of eyebrows. The 26-year-old announced she's expecting her first child and wants her followers to be part of this journey. But the twist, she's auctioning off her baby's name to the highest bidder, and that's just the beginning of this wild story. Bonnie Blue is stirring up both controversy and curiosity by putting her baby's name up for auction. The adult content sensation is inviting her fans to bid on the privilege of choosing the perfect name for her little one. And when I say inviting her fans, I mean she's literally selling the naming rights to her unborn child like it's a corporate sponsorship deal. Bonnie Blue, whose real name is Tia Billinger, said she is always brainstorming new ideas, and she thought involving her fans in the naming process would be a fun twist. Fun is certainly one way to describe auctioning off your baby's identity to strangers on the internet. "I would like to auction off the baby's name. I think that would be quite fun," Blue said in an exclusive interview with Us Weekly. "I think I want to get my fans involved in a gender reveal. They're going to be involved along the way." So, to be clear, her fans are going to help with the gender reveal, they're going to be involved along the way throughout the pregnancy, and whoever pays the most money gets to name her child. This baby is going to have a very unconventional origin story. However, Bonnie Blue has emphasized being cautious about not sexualizing her child, which is good, obviously, but also raises the question of how you're going to maintain those boundaries when you've built your entire career and brand around adult content, and you're literally selling naming rights to your baby to your adult content subscribers. She is aiming for a balance between fan engagement and protecting her baby's privacy. Blue plans on setting clear boundaries, especially after the baby arrives. Those boundaries are going to be really important because once you've auctioned off your baby's name and involved your subscribers in the pregnancy, putting the genie back in the bottle is going to be difficult. Now, here's where this story gets even more complicated and, frankly, disturbing. For those unaware, Bonnie Blue had a rather unconventional approach to getting pregnant. She slept with 400 men without protection as part of a breeding mission earlier this year. 400 men without protection as a deliberate breeding mission. Let that sink in for a moment. When asked what message she had for the men who took part in her mission, Blue's response was, "Good luck, I guess." Good luck, I guess. That's what she's saying to the 400 men who might be the father of her child. That's not a joke. That's her actual statement. Bonnie Blue further stated that she was clear about her intentions and the possible outcomes. She plans to give the men involved the option to be part of the journey or not. However, she is prepared to be a single mom either way. So she's prepared to be a single mom, which is fine, but she's also saying the 400 men have the option to be involved. How exactly does that work? Is she going to contact all 400 and say, "Hey, I'm pregnant, you might be the dad, want to be involved?" That's not how paternity works. That's not how any of this works. She highlighted that her priority is the baby's health, not determining paternity. And that's where this gets really problematic, because a baby's health actually does involve knowing who the biological father is. Medical history matters. Genetic conditions matter. Family health history matters when raising a child. Saying, "I don't care about paternity, only the baby's health," sounds nice, but those two things are actually connected. If your child develops a genetic condition and you have no idea who the father is out of 400 possibilities, that's a medical problem, not just a social one. Meanwhile, certain observers have speculated that Blue's pregnancy may be a publicity stunt. And honestly, can you blame them for being skeptical? The whole thing sounds almost too outrageous to be real. Sleeping with 400 men without protection, getting pregnant, and then auctioning off the baby's name. It reads like a parody of influencer culture taken to its most extreme conclusion. However, Bonnie Blue has expressed that she is not concerned by such claims. She's moving forward with her pregnancy announcement, the name auction, and involving her subscribers in the process, regardless of what critics say. Let's talk about the ethical issues here, because there are many. First, auctioning off a human being's name, a name they'll carry for their entire life, to the highest bidder among your adult content subscribers is treating your child like a product. That child didn't consent to having their name chosen by someone who paid for the privilege. Second, the breeding mission with 400 men is not just unconventional, it's reckless. The health risks alone, sexually transmitted infections, lack of prenatal care planning, no genetic screening, are significant. And now there's a child who will grow up knowing they were conceived as part of a viral stunt. Third, involving your adult content subscribers in your pregnancy journey while also claiming you want to protect your child from sexualization is contradictory. You can't monetize your pregnancy and your baby's name to an audience that pays you for sexual content and then expect to maintain clear boundaries once the baby arrives. Fourth, telling 400 men, good luck, I guess, about potentially being the father is wildly irresponsible. Some of those men might want to be involved. Some might have legal rights. Some might have genetic conditions their child should know about. Treating paternity as irrelevant is naive at best. But here's what might be the saddest part of this whole story. This baby is going to grow up with all of this documented on the internet forever. The breeding mission, the name auction, the 400 potential fathers, the monetization of their conception and pregnancy. All of it is out there, permanent, searchable, ready to be discovered by the child or their future classmates or partners. Bonnie Blue can set all the boundaries she wants after the baby is born, but she can't undo the fact that she's already turned her pregnancy into content for her subscribers. She's already auctioned off her child's name. She's already told the world about the 400 men and the breeding mission. Is this pregnancy real or a publicity stunt? We don't know for sure, but if it is real, there's a child who will eventually have to reckon with how they came into this world and how their existence was monetized and turned into viral content before they were even born. Bonnie Blue says her priority is the baby's health. If that's true, then maybe she should reconsider auctioning off the baby's name to strangers, involving her adult content subscribers in the pregnancy journey, and treating 400 potential fathers with a casual, good luck, I guess. Because this isn't just about Bonnie Blue anymore. This is about a child who didn't ask to be conceived as part of a breeding mission, or to have their name sold to the highest bidder, or to have their entire existence documented as content for their mother's subscribers. Bonnie Blue can do whatever she wants with her own life, but once there's a child involved, it's not just about her anymore, and that's something she might want to consider before the name auction closes.